सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Page 94, mantra number 11. कामस्याप्तिं जगतः प्रतिष्ठां क्रतोरनन्त्यम् अभयस्य पारम् स्तोमं महदुरुगायम् प्रतिष्ठां दृष्ट्वा धृत्या धीरः नचिकेतोऽत्यस्राक्षीः कामस्य आप्तिं जगतः प्रतिष्ठां क्रतोः अनन्त्यम् अभयस्य पारं स्तोमं महत् उरुगायं प्रतिष्ठां दृष्ट्वा धृत्या धीरः नचिकेतः अत्यस्राक्षीः। महत् उरुगायं, Mahat meaning that Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the samashti. Samashti, the totality. And that totality is something which has the wide stance, meaning it covers everything. Everything that which is, it has to express from that nascent form of the Hiranyagarbha into this creation. That Hiranyagarbha is the expression of that Parabrahma Paramatma into a tangible form. Hiranyagarbha samavartatagre bhutasya jatah patireka asit. That Parabrahma Paramatma has always been there. The creation, as soon as it was thought of, there comes the Ishvara. Identified with the very thought of creation, that Brahma Paramatma expresses as Ishvara. Therefore, in our Sanatana way of outlook, there are not that many gods, that many systems. There is just one divine alone. Now that we are talking about it, not that it is necessary to state in this particular mantra, but just because in the Abrahamic, they have Jagat and they have God also. In the Advaita Siddhanta, there are not these many factors. God alone is. Vyashti, Samashti, and that which is Atita. Vyashti, individuality. You, me, he, she, it, they, everything put together. Individuals. Now that the class is running, we have individual chairs separated. At the end of the class, what do we do? Gather all of them and put them in one corner. That is the collective samashti of all the chairs in one corner. Similarly, Vyashti is that which is created. Samashti, that which is expressed but not manifest. It is expressed but yet not manifest. Supposing, now that I am speaking with all of you, what I need to speak, I am already forming it as I am delivering the earlier statement. That which I intend to state after this statement is already expressed. In my being, I have already conceived, but yet not manifest. I think this much can be understood easily. What is this? That which is manifest is expressed only. No. That which is expressed can stay without being manifest. Sometimes हमको गुस्सा चढ़ जाता है. But then you know it is not appropriate to unleash oneself with all those vocabulary. So it is expressed but not manifest. Right? You know what it is, but others may not know what it is because it is not manifest yet. So, Ishvara and Samashti is that kind of expressed which is yet to manifest. So, there are two methods. One is Jivan Mukti. The other is called Krama Mukti. Krama, step by step. What is aimed for is Jivan Mukti. What happens in that Krama Mukti? This individuality goes to the Mahat. It is also known as Brahmaloka. And stays there until the creation comes to an end. And then merges into that Parabrahma Paramatma. Until then, what does this individual do? Oh, Brahmaji keeps us busy. Brahmaji has 4 heads. Quad processing unit. He has 4 heads. He used to be penta processing. Bhagwan Shiva eliminated one processor, so he is now left with 4 processes. I am trying to use the present day vocabulary to accommodate what is happening. With 3 heads, Brahmaji takes care of the upper world, this world and the lower world. And with 1 head, all these individuals who have attained enough punya, there is not enough papa to express back into this creation, they start getting accumulated there. Stop by, stand by. There, with the fourth head, Brahmaji has 24/7 satsanga. So the choice that you have in attaining moksha is 1 hour per day or 24/7 satsang. Which one do you want? Because 1 hour per day, then we do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, Jivan Mukti, right here, right now. Otherwise, ब्रह्मा जी का लेक्चर सुनने पड़ेंगे. कब तक? To his tenure of continuity. Okay, some might think that it is at least better than all of us, right? But even having reached to that loka or any of these lokas, it is not a guarantee that you may never slip up. Indra from his Indra pada loses it and takes different forms and shapes. Jaya Vijaya, who were in that Vaikuntha, lost their position and came as 3 different terms of Rakshasas. There are several such examples. One slip up and the fall is great. See, if you are sitting on this kind of chair, even if you slip and fall, it is painful, but the effect of it is not large. Supposing you are, say, mountaineering and you are reaching to the height, you are passing a very narrow pass in the mountains, and there if you slip up, udhar se, the fall is greater. Similarly, these lokas, there is no guarantee. Though compared to what we have, anantam abhayasya param, that loka is ananta. Why? In compared to this kind of punarapijananam, there is no such again and again and again. In comparison to this, that looks very long lasting. Abhayasya param. Nachiketa himself had said very clearly in the second boon. He said, na tatratvam na jaraya pipasa. Ashana pipasa. Since there is no old age, there is no hunger and thirst, therefore there is no bhaya. Now what is the bhaya? All the insecurities are, how is my tomorrow? తెలుగులో చెప్తే ఇప్పుడు చేసేది రేపటికి ఓ 4 రాళ్ళు వెనక్కేసుకో. So that you feel a sense of security. All this for what? Udara nimittam bahukrita veshaha. Since these are not there in that loka, you don't get old, you don't age, you don't have hunger and thirst. Why is there no age? Why is there no hunger and thirst? Because you are not living in a gross body there. You are living in the subtle format, and the subtle format can continue to persist without any input of food and water. Anantam abhayasya param. How do you reach there? Kratoho. By performing these different yajna karmas, specifically the Nachiketa Agni which was given, Nitya Anusthana that was given, with which all the desires are fulfilled. Kamasya aptim jagata pratishtham. Nachiketa, when I enticed you with that Nachiketa Agni and gave you the boons full because I was so happy, what did you do? Dhritya dhiraha, like a courageous one, holding on to your fort and that which you had asked. What had he asked? Anyasya dharmat, anyasya adharmat. That which is bhutacha bhavyacha, that which is, they say they are born, they are dying, but there is something that which is beyond birth and death. Who is it or what is it? My logic has taken me only so far, beyond which I don't seem to have that understanding, therefore I don't seem to have the experience of it personally. You stuck to your guns and you did not budge. You wanted that and that alone. Dhritya dhiraha nachiketaha atyasrakshihi. Even that subtle, beautiful experience of the samashti, you gave up. You did not even show interest in it. What a brave-hearted, courageous student that you are. Meaning what? Up until now, he has shown that a seeker is that one who is least interested in the gains or the losses of this world. Similarly, that fellow is also not interested in the other worlds. ना इधर का झंझट चाहिए ना उधर का झंझट चाहिए. As much as this is a limitation, that also is a limitation. I like the word here. Atya srakshi. Srakshi is to give up or throw away. Atya srakshi. Thrown it away. In Telugu, we would say, Vissiri Bharesh. Utha ke patak diya. You need immense amount of, understanding and the courage born out of that understanding, that clarity, to not get enticed by these things. Power, position, limelight. Of the three, Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana, the most enticing and gripping is not the kama, is not the sexual desire. Subtler than, more powerful than is the security in wealth. पैसे का जो घमंड है, that is very, very difficult. But subtler than that is the power. And the limelight of that power, उसका जो नशा है, that is very difficult. Even that, here and there, both you rejected with a logical approach. Atyasrakshi. Then he continues. As I said, the Upanishad begins. He says, in the 12th mantra, Tam durdarsham gudhamanupravishtham guhahitam gahvareshtham puranam adhyatma yoga adhigamena devam matva dhiro harsha shokau jahati. In Bhagavad Gita, the same sentence is sukham dukkham. Sukha and dukkha jahati. Here they say harsha shokau jahati. Tam durdarsham gudham anupravishtham guhahitam gahvareshtham puranam adhyatma yoga Adhigamena devam matva dhiraha harsha shokau chahat. The reason after even chanting I go through every word is so that you are introduced to what the word exactly is. Then I go with the meaning. Tam durdarsham, not durdarshanam, durdarsham. Duradarshanam is something that which is very far away but you can see. But this is durdarsham. It is almost difficult to see, perceive, understand. Difficult to see. Durdarsham. Gudham. Gudham, that which is hidden secret. Anupravishtam. Anupravishtam, it is very inaccessible. It almost feels like it is hidden somewhere deep under different layers. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, hidden behind these layers as though. Anupravishtam. Where exactly is the locus for this? Guhahitam. Guhahitam, that which is the core of your being. I somehow like that word, that definition, Guhahitam. Where is the Chaitanya Tattva? It is the core of your very being. Guhahitam. One meaning of it is Guha is Hridaya Guha. Right here, where the rib cage parts, that is considered as the Hridaya, the Adhyatma Hridaya. The blood pumping Hridaya is left to it. We are not talking of that Hridaya. We are talking of this Hridaya. In the terms of the chakras, it is the Anahata Chakra. Anahata Chakra, if you look at it, each chakra is represented by a lotus. And each lotus has different petals in it. Therefore, the last one, the seventh one, is called Sahasrara because it is 1,000-petaled lotus. So, this Anahata Chakra is 12-petaled lotus. And if you look at the Upanishad itself, this Upanishad, that which belongs to the Kathoka Shakha, given by Katha Rishi. Kataka, the students of Katha. In the alphabetical order, if you start counting, from Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, right? If you count, in Kavarga, how many syllables are there? 5. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. In Chavarga, 5. 5 plus 5, 10. And the 2 from the Tavarga, ta, tha. From ka to tha, representing each petal of this Hridaya Guha. Therefore, the Upanishad and the Shakha itself is named as Katha Shakha. Because it is pointing towards that Hridaya Guha, which is the core of our own being. That is where this Atma Chaitanya resides comfortably. Guhahitam. Where is it? We are searching for it everywhere out, but it is the very source of our own being. Guhahitam. Gahvareshtham. Gahvareshtham. It is surrounded by all kinds of experiences, passions, desires. So you look at a top angle. When there is a house or something design given, there is a two-dimensional diagram. Then there is a elevation, three-dimensional. And then there is a top angle. If you take a drone and look at it. So if you look at this Atma Chaitanya from the top, it looks like it is covered with all the nonsense possible. Like each layer has its own turbulence. Shitoshna at the physical level, Sukha Dukkha at the emotional level, at the intellectual level, there is Mana, Avamana. So all these different layers of chaos. ऐसा लगता है कि ऊपर से देखो तो इसे नीचे दब गया है. It is surrounded by all these different layers as though Gahvareshtam. Puranam, it is ancient and yet very fresh and new. Pura api nava, that which is older than the oldest and yet fresher than the freshest. Pura api nava. Now, how do you get an access to this? It is Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Devam. This illumining Devam is not Shankha Chakra Gada Padma Yukta. That is not the Deva that we are talking. Dyotanat Devaha, that which is illumining from within. That Deva, how do I access? Which is Gahvareshtam, Guhahitam, Anupravishtam. Yes. Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Eva. It is only through this Adhyatma Yoga. Several steps have been understood by the student that he has already accomplished. Therefore, the last step is only indicated. When you have to reach, supposing somebody is living in 14th floor. And the 14th floor, when the directions are given at the 14th floor, when you exit the lift, it is the first house on the left. That is the instruction given. What does it indicate? What does it mean? तो भैया कार में आया हो तो पहले पार्क करना. पार्क करने के बाद come to the lift. Press the lift button. Wait patiently for the lift to come to your floor. Ensure that it is not a downgoing lift. It should be a upgoing lift. How do I know? लिफ्ट आके रुकता है, मुझे कैसे पता है वो ऊपर जाता है कि नीचे जाता है? There is arrow given. Pay keen attention to the arrow. Otherwise, you will go down because then you will go up. Once you get in, then press the button of your floor. Wait patiently. If there is too much of rush, it will probably stop at every single floor coming to the 14th floor. Then you exit on the left side. As soon as you exit, there is the house. इतने सारे steps बताए नहीं. Right? Even if you take a recipe book, they give the ingredients. They give you what kind of heat to be maintained, and then the sequence. And the fellow is like, "Pata nahi, I followed the sequence, nothing is happening." Why? Stove nahi bola na. Light the stove. It is taken as an understood statement or an understood step that you will already know that that is a required step. Similarly here, Adhyatma Yoga Adhigamena Devam Anupashyati. Meaning that individual should have done good intense amount of karma with the karma yoga attitude that there is the attraction and the influence of the outside world is not there at all. He is not somebody that is running away or shying away from the world. That which I want, the world cannot provide. This fellow has understood. संसार का निचोड़ पता हो गया, पता चल गया. Then has the opportunity with that vairagya infused antakarana to sit in satsanga where there is shravana. After shravana has done manana, nididhyasana. And in that shravana he has come to realize his true nature. Having thus attained that true nature, now you have to abide in it. That mind now has to be soaked in that adhyatma. Therefore, adhyatma yoga is indicative of the very meditative process. That in that meditation, you now abide in that which you have realized. In the steps of realization, you come to know what your true nature is. But now that mind is still yet covered with its own earlier patterns that it is constantly being pulled here and there. That mind now has to abide in its true nature. It's like you have a horse, you have the vehicle, but if the horse is not broken in, इसका मतलब है कि उसके हड्डियां तोड़ते हैं. Broken in is that its wildness is controlled, disciplined, and then it now has the habit of drawing the vehicle without its wildness. Our mind is equally like a wild horse. We know our wildness. We don't have to claim सारी दुनिया जानती है. हम जाने तो काफी है. We know our wildness. That wildness has been reduced through karma yoga. Tempered with bhakti so that there is chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagrata now. Then that mind is now taken to Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, where through Shravana, Jnana has happened. Now, in that Jnana that has revealed, now this mind has to abide in it. Therefore, it is said, Dhyana or Adhyatma Yoga. It has to now yoke, connect with, and completely get fused into it. There is a nut, there is a metallic structure. Now this nut has to fuse into it. So you have to weld it. Now that welding machine, when you start the both ends of the electric current and you put that rod there, the light is so bright that the fellow who is working there has to have a layer of otherwise you can go blind. Similarly, Gurudev uses a very, very beautiful vocabulary here. He says, in the white heat of meditation, this has to weld into, merge into its own essence. It meaning our own mind. Adhyatma yoga. Therefore, meditation is not a very superficial, but aankhein mund lo ho jayega. And the way it is being marketed these days. First of all, To say that it is meditation, dhyana, is a very Hindu dharmic word. So now they have replaced it with mindfulness. You might have been hearing this word mindfulness in so many corporate structures. This is an Abrahamic construct, so that they don't use the Hindu word but take the concept of it. So the dhyana is being marketed as, you sit in meditation, your BP gets controlled, your triglycerides get controlled. It is not जिंदा तिलिस्मान. हर मर्ज की दवा नहीं है ये. Only a Hyderabadi could understand that. There is a Unani medicine. You can apply it outside, you can apply it inside, you can consume it, you can put it on the cuts, you can put it on the burns, you can put it as a pain reliever. It is one medicine for everything. Dhyana is being used like that. If you have stress, meditate. One thing that we don't realize, meditation is not just about sitting and closing your eyes. All these, I was also inquisitive, because there was somebody that came to me while still I was in Dallas. They said, Swamiji, let us create a beautiful ambient app, a meditation app. It is the new thing in. I said, ना मैं बेवकूफ हूं, ना मैं किसी को बेवकूफ बनाऊंगा. Because all that you get to see in those apps is techniques of pranayama. Pranayama is not meditation. Techniques of focus, that is not called meditation. At least in the Vedantic terms, that is not called meditation. That is not what our Sanatana Dharma, our Shruti has explained as meditation. Nididhyasana, meditation is to abide in one's own true nature, having understood what I am. Without this wisdom of what I am, trying to meditate, see, there is one process wherein they say, needle in the haystack. At least you know that there is the haystack and there is a needle. Now I have to search painfully. This is not even a needle in a haystack. As Gurudev would give that example, right? That you lost the key in front of your house, but you are searching for it somewhere where there is supposed to be light. ये तो बेवकूफी की हद हो गई. Without having known, without having understood what my true essence is, what my true nature is, closing your eyes will not take you closer to it. Technically, I should not have started the meditation class right in the beginning. But people are so enticed with it. So I said, at least we should provide a platform wherein the right processes to reach there should be, at least there should be one platform wherein we should be able to give. Our silence will be filled by all wrong things. At least the right method should be indicated. Those who don't come to the Vedanta class, those who don't come to the Bhagavad Gita classes, meditation class के लिए आएंगे. Adhyatma Yoga is that finality of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, wherein in that process of Nididhyasana, having understood what my true nature is, there is the aparokshanubhuti that I clearly now understand. That I cannot be anything, this I am only this. That understanding is ascertained as an experience, intimate personal experience. Now I have to abide this, take this mind and intellect and merge it into that, soak it into it. Otherwise, the sukha of my own true nature will not reflect in the antakarana. Adhyatma yoga adhigamena. Adhigamena, to climb over and sit in, abide in. Even in Telugu, when we use the word adhigaminchadam, what does that mean? To cross over. Here it is not just crossover. Having crossed over all this limitation, now you have to abide in. That also is indicated in the word adhigama. To realize my true nature as Deva, that constant illumining. In that alone, Harsha Shokau Jahati. You have finally transcended the entire field of samsara called polarities. Dualities are given up. Now continuing, page 104, 13th mantra. एतच्छ्रुत्वा संपरिगृह्य मर्त्यः प्रबृह्य धर्म्यमनुम् एतमाप्य समोदते मोदनीयं हि लब्ध्वा विवृतं सद्मा नचिकेतसं मन्ये एतत् श्रुत्वा संपरिगृह्य मर्त्यः प्रवृह्य धर्म्यम् अणुम् एतम् आप्य समोदते मोदनीयं हि लब्ध्वा विवृतं सद्म नचिकेतसं मन्ये. एतत् श्रुत्वा. एतत् किमेतत्? What is this that they are referring to? That which is being said in the last mantra. The last mantra is giving you the map in a very beautiful, concise direction given. How does one evolve? How does one abide in one's own true nature? Having heard it, having listened to it, samparigrihya, grihya, to grasp. Parigrihya, comprehensively grasped. Samparigrihya is very well comprehensively grasped. When look at the precision of the words that have been used. Etad grihya. And grihya, understand this. Comprehensively understand it. ఇది ఆషామాషి కాదు. Comprehensively grasp it. And comprehensively grasp it so well that there cannot be an iota of confusion. Having thus understood this, the individual martyaha pravruhya dharmyam etam anum etam apya. Pravruhya, having separated out. Pravruhya. What is to be separated out? Very simple. What is Nitya Vastu? Anything other than that Nitya Vastu is of the nature of decay. Anitya Vastu. And therefore, I have absolutely no regards towards that which is decaying. This discriminatory intuition has to be established, because this dharma of our own true nature is anum, very, very, very subtle. Most of the seekers get caught up in the confusion of trying to intellectualize this. Stop trying to intellectualize it. The more and more we put the effort to intellectualize it, the more and more we get away from that which is obviously present. Trying to intellectualize it is as good as a Pomeranian dog which is trying to catch its tail. What will happen? There seems to be a lot of movement, but there is no end in sight. तो गोल 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 घूमता रहेगा. When all my queries have been logically sequenced, I am clear of that logical sequence. There is nothing more confusing. At that point, what has to happen is that intellect quietens. There is no more eczema. There is no more itch. That itch has stopped. And the moment it hits that silence within, intuitive intellect should take over. How do I know if that intuitive intellect has taken over? Instantly you have the clarity, what next? At this point, most of us would be, chalo मान लिया satyam jnanam anantam brahma, that is my true nature, I have been hearing it, it is very logical, I have reached there. But that intuitive intellect has not yet been kicked in. But even after having heard it so many times, the experience of it is not there. The intellect has not silenced. करता रहता है. That has to be silenced. What next is not the question, because the intellect in its silence can see very clearly. I have explained this so many times. The subtlety that it reaches to, that it understands that the intellect is functioning purely because of the reflection that is hitting in the intellect. I so far have assumed that this reflection is my nature. But in this subtlety, now I can clearly see that this is a reflection only. If there is a reflection, there should be a source. Therefore, what next is not the question. It automatically turns towards the source. No amount of intellectualization can shift that attention of the intellect towards that self. Intellectualization and reasoning is a necessity. I am not saying that is not required. The entire matrix of this has to be sorted out. The moment when the inside it is sorted out, it should experience Shanti. In that Shanti, the subtlety kicks in. In that subtlety, it will recognize that this is only a reflection. Where is the source? The moment it turns, that silence pervades. So here he is saying, Dharmyam anum etam apya. Having pravrihya, having done this discrimination, that even that intellect which is trying to discriminate, in that it understands that its functioning purely thinking it is a reflection, it understands. Thereby the attention is shifted. See, there are so many U-turns, right? This is the final U-turn. Having turned where there is yadgatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita, that which is explained as the final abode, Dhamma. That U-turn is being mentioned here. Samodate. Now that intellect, soaked in its own nature, is truly cherishing its infinite nature of bliss. Having thus experienced it, modaniyam hi labdha. There is nothing more to be cherished. So far, what I thought that I acquired all these great pleasures of life seems nothing in front of this. Therefore, trying to abide this intellect in meditation in my own true nature, so that those little impressions that are still lingering on do not create any chaos, have no capacity to create that chaos. Modaniyam hi labdha. Vivrutam sadma Nachiketa sammanye. Yama is saying, O Nachiketa, looking at the texture of your quality of processing and intellect functioning, I think now you are qualified and ready to enter this realm and abide in your true nature. Therefore, this wisdom cannot be done on a Zoom call. Therefore, this wisdom cannot be done just by a pure book reading. Study groups and these Jnana Yajnas are not a book reading club. Ki book khatam kiya, finish kiya, feather in the cap. I have read this Upanishad also. It is taking us directly to that experience. There is nothing more direct than this. So far, what we have been hearing, not just in Kathopanishad, in every Upanishad, is there any jilebi here? Gol, 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 ghumana. Straightforward. The confusion is not in the straightforwardness of this jnana. It is my own intellect which is not yet settled with its answers. Therefore, it looks confusing. Therefore, our Yamadharmaraja, as soon as he tells Nachiketa that I now think very clearly that you are qualified to enter into this realm, Nachiketa must be now having a ear-to-ear smile. Hammaya, I have crossed all the tests. All entrance exams are done. I have passed the qualifiers. So therefore, O Yamadharma Raja, just to remind you what I had asked in my third boon. Not that you would have forgotten, but I am very keen, I am very impatient now to understand it. So what did Nachiketa ask in the third boon, which he is reminding Yamadharma Raja again? He says, Anyatra dharmat, Anyatra adharmat, Anyatra asmat, Krita akritat, Anyatra bhutacha, Bhavyacha, Yat tat pashyasi, Tatvada. I mean, see, when a questioner asks the question, That question itself gives the clarity about the depth of that individual's understanding and grasp. Because even to state that which I do not understand, how clear are you? हाँ वो कुछ तो बोल रहे थे मेरे को समझ में, क्या कुछ तो नहीं समझ में आया, that now you have to decipher. Here he is very clear. The beauty of it is from even the question being asked, it is a comprehensive question. When somebody asks this kind of a comprehensive question, even the teacher would be amazed, thrilled. Poor Yama must have been standing in that threshold between life and death. This must have been like once in a lifetime opportunity to find such student. What is the question? Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. Anyatra kritat, akritat. Anyatya bhutacha bhavyacha. Whatever you see and experience, tat eva vada. That alone reveal to. Anyatra dharmat adharmat. Many people, when I ask what is the purpose of life, they keep ధర్మంగా మా పనులు మేము చేసుకోవాలి. The moment you say dharma, not that it is wrong, not that it is bad, but that is not the ultimate purpose of life. I'll translate this into our today's language. Swamiji, I don't believe in these rituals and spirituality. All I believe is do good, be good. Sorry, it is not good enough. How many do we see who draw this line and define their sense of spirituality as only this? Can you really define what is good and bad? It is situational only. Nothing is absolutely good, nothing is absolutely bad. The venom of the snake is bad. The same venom becomes the antidote. Because venom is nothing but a undigestible, complex, long protein chain. And because the body cannot process it, it starts having its effect on. What does the antidote do? It takes the same very chain and introduces it into the body, which helps us break that long complex chained protein into smaller parts, thereby acting as antidote. Now, poison, is it good or is it bad? It is neither good nor bad. That which appears good today, the mood changes, that very good becomes bad. You should eat green leafy vegetables. It's good for your health. Tell that to a kidney patient or a kidney stone patient. it becomes bad. In Vyavahara, we unnecessarily define goodness and badness and get stuck in it. We hear a very beautiful story, interaction between Swami Taponam Maharaj and Gurudev to understand that good, bad, all this layer is nothing but Maya. What is essential is the essence, and that essence is beyond both this good and bad. Tapon Maharaj asks Gurudev to wash his clothes. And Gurudev washes it in Ganga Ji, brings it back. No. Puts it on it. Usually cloth line may not be there, must be on a tree because it gets aerated and dries fast. As he was folding it, Tapon Maharaj looked at it. There was a tear in the cloth. He said, "You tore my cloth." I said, "No, I did not. Liar." And the pride of the seeker was pricked. I am not a liar. But there's an argument that he takes with Tapon Maharaj. And Tapon Maharaj is like blissfully smiling. Couple of moments later he says, yes, ठीक है. So then Tapon Maharaj asks, what did you understand? He says, being truthful, being a liar, being this, all these polarities, this is all Maya. Neither the cloth torn is of essence, nor the cloth being, that was not your purpose. Tapon Maharaj shook his head in understanding and said, now you have gotten it. Otherwise, the Sattvikata takes the highest pride. And to break that becomes almost like an impossible task. And in that Sattvikata, then the comparative note is, I am not like them. Who is holding a competition? There is no gold medal after this competition. But we run in that competition. I have now become spiritual because I am not like the rest of them. I have become Sattvik. That is not the goal. I have now become dharmic. Claiming that makes it adharma. Where are we getting caught up? So life's purpose is not transforming oneself from bad to good, but to understand that this is a polarity between bad and good, and it is only situational convenience which makes it good or bad. My attention should be that which is the substratum of this polarity, which is beyond good and bad. Therefore, spirituality means not just do good, be good, but get to the essence of it, the substratum of it, which is my true nature, which is divine, which can neither be put in the category of good or bad. It is not a polarity. This student has understood that getting caught up in dharma, adharma is not the purpose of life. There is something higher than this, something subtler than this, something that because of which we perform dharma and adharma. I am interested in that, not get caught up in this dharma, adharma equation. What a depth in asking the question itself. This is not a conclusion that is drawn by the teacher and being handed down to the student. It is the conclusion that is drawn by the student having seen through the entire life of experience and evaluating it with such precision. Then he continues, he says, Anyatra krita akrita. Krita, that which is manifest. Akrita, that which is unmanifest. Whether you take it at the Vyashti level or at the Samashti level, at both levels, Krita and Akrita, manifest and unmanifest, it is a constant run between that which has been manifested, secure it, that which is unmanifest, how to execute it. Constantly in that flux. This is at the Vyashti level. At the Samashti level, that which is Vyakta, Krita, that which can be seen tangible, there is definitely much more than, because all of this, that which is appearing is only appearance. There must be a bigger plan and the bigger unmanifest. Between this manifest and unmanifest, the Jiva keeps traveling. And I am not interested in this travel any further. Enough of this travel. I want to go beyond being the cause or the effect. That which is the causeless state of being. That is what I need to understand, assimilate, and abide in. 3 steps included. You have to understand it, assimilate it, and then abide in as that Chaitanya Swarupa. Krita, Akrita. I am least bothered about Bhuta, Bhavya. I might have done so many things in the past. There might be Sanchita, there may be Agami, there may be my Prarabdha released because of my past. I have no interest in creating a scheme of things for future and its future security. Neither am I bogged down by the past and its weight, nor am I airy running towards the unborn future. The present is what I have, the present is what I value, and that presence is where I want to abide in. That which transcends time. Time transcendence, space transcendence, and the guiding transcendence, that which guides how I function through the time and space, dharma and adharma, that also I want to transcend. And why are you the best one to teach me this? You understand both the manifest and unmanifest. You understand both dharma and adharma, based on which you evaluate. You also understand very clearly, because from your standpoint, probably there is no past, present, future, because you see it as a moment. That which you see, that which you are experiencing, that which you are abiding in, tat eva vada, that alone please teach me. I mean, usually meditative shlokas or mantras are that which the Guru is stating. Here is a meditative mantra which the Shishya is stating, because he has evaluated the entire Vyavahara in 3 standpoints. Therefore, this Upanishad is such a... because the teacher is not trying to train the student. The student has come trained, completely evaluated. There is no flowery, weavy, it's straight. This is what is your nature. That is what Yamadharmaraja will take up from tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I just realized